Hey everybody, and welcome back to Rideshare Conversation. And I'm your good friend Priscilla Victoria. And how are my good friends doing? How my good friends doing out there? Let me know how you guys are doing. So, this is my segment of story time, my Uber story time. And today's story time is coming from, and I've been in the industry, a long time. So this is why I'm making this segment. And today's story time is about a bad Uber driver. And let me tell you guys, in this industry, you're going to have your good apples and bad apples, okay? And a lot of times, just because we run into a bad apple doesn't mean that everything thereafter is bad, okay? So even with this outlet, it's designed to be safe, it's designed to be secure. But what I can say is that it's not just this outlet, it's every single thing that somebody have came up with to try to idiot-proof, to try to simplify it, make it easy, make it safe. There's always going to be something or someone that figure out a way to slip through the cracks. Which, talking just now, I'm going to save that for another story time, okay? So my story time involves my very first Uber trip in Maryland. So, it was on a Sunday. I'm all dressed up. I'm getting ready to go, meet one of my friends. And I book my Uber as normal. My Uber pulls up and I was dressed up and I had a tote bag, a shoulder tote bag, right? So when I opened the back door, the first thing I saw was my driver looking at me and saying aggressively, "Put your bag in the trunk." So I looked at him. Now, mind you, I'm not going to make this a woman-man thing. I'm already a woman, This guy aggressively told me to put my bag in the trunk. And I'm a Southern girl, okay? Y'all know I'm country. Y'all gonna hear me say y'all all the time, okay? It's something that's always going to be with me. I am a country girl. So I'm thinking to myself, I looked at him and I said, "Well, hey, how are you doing today?" He stared directly at me and didn't say two words. So me being a driver, it upset me, but I wanted to see where this was going. So when he looked at me and didn't say anything, now this was during a time where I think, people were still transitioning. You had to wear a mask and all of this good stuff. So that was not even the issue. So I said, okay, well, since he want me to put my bag in the trunk and he didn't tell me again to do it, I proceeded to walk to the back of his vehicle. So when I walked to the back of his vehicle, because, by this time I'm frustrated, I'm like, you know what, I ain't got time for this. Let me just put this item and put my tote bag in his trunk. So when I walked to the back of the vehicle thinking that this driver was getting ready to open his trunk for me to put my bag in there, well, guess what happened next? I felt like I was on like a ride. I'm standing straight up and I'm looking at the trunk. So I did this. I said, now I know I didn't have anything to drink today or even yet, So I was like, what is going on? Why do I feel like I'm moving? That was his car driving off. And it made me angry. It did make me angry. It ticked my nerves, okay? And the reason that it ticked my nerves is because there's several things that could have went wrong in this situation that this driver did not think about. It was me. I'm an experienced driver, and I'm also the type of individual that I am, right? So my first problem was, how could he went about doing this the correct way to not start a fight or argument or some type of confrontation, because had he had the wrong person, it could have went a couple of different ways. So had he had the wrong person, that person could have slammed his door shut. That person could have threw a rock at his car. And a lot of people have videos now, so that's what we would probably see. But we wouldn't know that it was triggered by the behavior of the driver towards the customers. Now, don't beat me up. Customers do things just like drivers do things. It's bad apples in all bunches, right? So for me, when I opened the door, had he said, "Ma'am, I prefer my customers to put their belongings in the trunk," I would have been like, "Oh, okay, fine." But put your bag in the trunk startled me. And now I'm looking at him like, okay, why would you even do this? And the next part was when I went to the back of his vehicle, it sparked a safety concern, because he could have went in reverse and I was standing directly behind his vehicle. Now an accident, now I'm hit, because he didn't think about what could have happened. And if you are a driver and you are dealing with these customers, always keep your head on a swivel to think as to what if I respond this way, what is going to happen. The other thing is, I could have been on my last leg, had a bad day, everything happening in my life, and this response caused me to do something aggressive towards him. Pick up a rock, throw it at his vehicle. Yeah, I would be wrong, but it's also triggering. So when you're in these outlets with people and you're dealing with people, we try to do the right thing. Also remember that you're dealing with any and everybody. So try to minimize confrontation. Try to keep it down if you can, or find a way to properly handle the situation. Last thing, he did not cancel the trip. Okay? If you are a customer, you know, and if you're a customer, you may not know. If you're a driver, you definitely know. He didn't cancel the trip. So I'm like, okay, you drove off. Why didn't you cancel the trip? And you know that if you are a customer and the driver gets to you and you cancel, the platform will charge you a cancellation fee. So I was like, you know what? I got a little time. Let me see if he's going to cancel this trip. He did not. And by then, I'm just like, I'm aggravated. I'm like, you know what? Let me just cancel the trip. I notified Uber, I emailed them and things like that. But if you are a driver and you're watching this video, this behavior is unacceptable. And if you have this type of behavior, guess what? It is going to hurt you. Okay? You are going to run into the right person that's ready to get with the get with. And you don't want that. Don't do that. That is unacceptable. All right? And to customers, when you run into drivers that have this behavior problem or pattern, again, as a woman, him yelling at me, you know what I'm saying? Because if, let's say I was just a regular customer, I might not want to ride with him. So if you have a situation where you don't want to ride with that driver, cancel the trip and then notify the platform that you had to cancel the trip and why you canceled the trip. So even if you are a customer and you feel uncomfortable about getting into a vehicle or something happened between you and the driver, or just de-escalate the problem so that we all can move smoothly, okay? It is not worth it. But, that's why I said, like, if you're a driver and you never experienced riding on a platform, it may be a good thing to ride on the platform so you can experience what it's like to be a customer. And it may actually help you be a better driver, okay? Like I said, don't beat me up. There's pros and cons to everything. There's two sides to every story. And, I know we're in the world of social media, but when we are looking at things, try to analyze them from different windows, okay? From different windows. And even when he yelled and said, had I been a regular customer and he said, put your bag in the trunk. If I wasn't a driver, I would have said, that's fine, cancel. And I would have immediately notify Uber, and that would have just dealt with the whole situation. So that is my story time for today. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to always leave comments. Feel free to email me with questions and I will answer them. So until next time, you guys be safe out there. And remember, we are trying to work together. Nobody is going to, come and do it for us. We have to individually make the decision to make the surroundings in our area or where we are a better place. De-escalate, not escalate, okay? And again, nothing is perfect, and we all are human. Just like where I'm calm and I try to de-escalate, my nerves get ticked sometimes. They do. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say that I'm a perfect person, but I consistently work on or always keep it in my mind that to de-escalate rather than escalate, especially when I'm in an outlet and I'm making money from that outlet, because I don't want to jeopardize something that I'm using as a tool to make my coins. So you guys stay safe out there. Remember, self-awareness. All right? That's what I'm going to leave you guys with today. Self-awareness. And I will be talking more about that.